I wanted to test and see what happened if I ate black beans every day for 30 days. This one had a little different results than my chia seed video, so I'm pretty excited to share this with you. Now, I already eat black beans fairly regularly, at least once or twice a week. So just like my previous test with the chickpeas, this test was just about remaining consistent. And I did it. Now, I didn't do anything special. I didn't make any of my crazy black bean recipes from the past, like my black bean protein bars or black bean cupcakes or black bean burgers. I kept it very simple. That's how I was able to eat it every single day. Most of the time, I would just open up a can of black beans, toss in some cumin, black pepper, maybe some salt, toss it in the pan for a few minutes, heat it up. I ate about half of a cup to a cup at a time. I would toss them in the burritos, salads, over rice. Most of the time though, it was just a side. And honestly, a lot of times I would just eat them straight out of the can. I recently watched Merle's video where she talked about that and said it was weird, but I don't find anything weird with this. If you watched my ranking video, you know there's a dramatic difference between a good can and a bad can of black beans. And a good can of black beans, you can eat right out of the can. So why black beans? What would I possibly gain from this test? Well, I'm glad you asked, even if you didn't. Black beans are high in soluble fiber, which is good for gut health. That's something that I have been trying to pay attention to a little bit more lately. They also may help with blood sugar control, and dietary fiber may help lowering LDL cholesterol. Black beans also provide potassium and magnesium, which is great for athletic recovery, along with maintaining a healthy blood pressure. They're also rich in folate, iron, and polyphenols. I'm just making a mess. Just making an absolute mess here. One of the dishes that I really liked during the test that was fun to meal prep and actually gave me like 3 or 4 days worth of food was a simple black bean soup that could be eaten hot or cold. And the nice thing is, it only required a high-powered blender. If you don't have a high-powered blender, you are gonna need to cook this in a pan. But with a high-powered blender, all you're gonna do is toss in 2 cans of black beans, the liquid and all, 1/4 of a white onion, teaspoon of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons cumin, big pinch of salt, couple cracks of black pepper, 2 cups of veggie broth, 1 large carrot, peeled because I learned from my last video about the carrots that the peels don't really hold anything besides the pesticides. That's kind of a joke, please don't take that super seriously, but I've always heard that the skins of carrots hold the nutrients, and that's just not true. We're gonna do a small squeeze of lime juice. I put too much in this batch. It ended up being a little too limey, and about a tablespoon of olive oil. Now we just need to blend this on high until it heats up, which usually takes about 10 minutes. So that's plenty of time for today's sponsor. So Walker is 10 years old now. I've had him ever since he was handheld, a little puppy. Monica and I started noticing his age a little bit more. We always thought we were giving him the healthiest food, but we wanted to talk to his vet and just find out. As my diet got healthier with less processed foods, we thought maybe we could do the same for him. And that's when we found out about the farmer's dog. So I went to their website, took the personalization quiz about Walker, and that was it. Super easy. They then sent me pre-portioned packs of frozen food, pretty awesome tote freezer bag, and a personalized feeding guide that helped us transition Walker away from kibble to fresh food. Over the next few weeks, we followed the guide to transition him away from kibble, and Walker was crazy excited. I mean, from the very first one, all the way through, his feeding times completely changed. Walker always kind of needed us to watch. He always wanted us to put something on his food, and now he just devours it. He is so excited for meal times. It kind of cracks us up. We are really happy about it. We're giving Walker human-grade, real, fresh food. And I feel good about that. I know what the transitions have been like for me switching from processed foods to real good quality food, so I cannot wait to see what happens with Walker. So gang, if you're interested in getting the best quality food for your dog, you can get 50% off your first box of fresh, high quality food using the link below. Plus, you're gonna get free shipping and 24/7 customer support. Really great customer support. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code. The Farmer's Dog, thank you so much for sponsoring today's video and for caring so much about one of the most important members of the family.
I love you so much. I love you so much. I just love you so much.
Okay, we're back. The soup is done. I'm gonna pour it into a bowl. Like I said, I have tons of servings left, and this comes out awesome. I add just a little bit more olive oil, maybe some hot pepper. You can add some cilantro, avocado cream. You could do what you like to it, but as it is great. It's thick, it's rich. You don't have to blend it this thin, but If you do want to cook it in the blender, it is going to come out incredibly creamy, like incredibly creamy. This almost has the consistency of like a pudding, to be honest, but with the rich tastes of like a black bean. You can make it thinner if you like. This is about the consistency that I personally like. This is an easy way to get fiber. It could be made as a dinner just on its own, as a lunch, as a side. It could be a snack eaten cold. It is very good cold, surprisingly. And yeah, probably one of the cheapest meals you can make that actually has some benefits next to like, say, like the broccoli soup. So, how did the month go? Again, thank you for asking. It's been pretty good so far. It's been a pretty good month. Real hot here in Florida. How about you? Great. Oh, the black beans. So I have to start by saying I am used to eating a fairly high fiber diet. So I didn't expect a whole lot. Personally, I expected this to go similar to my chia seed test, but it didn't. By day 3 of this, I wasn't specifically tracking my fiber, and I kind of wish I was, because the gas and bloating did start to get a little out of hand. I was a little uncomfortable, but I wanted to keep rolling with it. I was farting. I mean, that was just there, I gotta be honest. I wanted to push through because I felt like it should be pretty temporary, because again, I just needed my digestive system to get used to it, and I already eat pretty high fiber. From what I know, essentially, your gut microbiome just needs to adjust to having more fiber. There's going to be more food for your microbiome to kind of work with. So it's working through that and essentially getting used to working through that. The less fiber you currently eat, the worse your diet currently is, the longer this process can take. For people switching from a very low fiber, like a high fat diet, to a very high fiber diet, this can take months, but it is something that could be very beneficial. By week 2, I didn't notice much beyond the gas and the bloating pretty much gone. I did notice that I started drinking more water. This might have been because of the more fiber. I might have needed to be more satiated with drinks and fluid. That is something that I do keep track of. So I was noticing that I was actually taking in more water earlier in the day. The only reason why I keep track of my water intake is because I'm a very heavy sweater running here in Florida. I need to make sure that I monitor that. I did start to notice the upward tick. Now, it could have been something else. It could have been like the higher sodium intake. There's a million different little variables that it could have been, but those two things, less gas, less bloating, more hydration, were two of the things that happened in week 2. But by week 3, one thing I did notice was reduced snacking. I was staying fuller longer. Like even now, eating this, I can feel myself getting fuller quicker than I would if I were to eat a bowl of some other soup. I did notice some other things as far as like my digestive system was starting to become very consistent. That's something that, again, that I pay attention to because I've had the acid reflux and other digestive issues growing up. Most of that's cleared in my new life, my new healthy lifestyle. Noticing little changes in that. Things were easier to digest. Again, less bloating, and also feeling fuller, but in a good way, more satiated, not feeling full as in, like unbuckle the belt type of full, but full as in feeling good about the amount of food that I had. The other thing I started tracking by week 4 was energy levels. Fatigue levels were slowly going down, energy levels going up. I don't know if that was the feeling of fullness, getting more calories in per meal and having more spaces between meals versus consistently eating. That could have also been from the black beans having more carbs per calorie than other meals, but your net carbs are lower because of the fiber intake. Few interesting things. They are things that actually happened and things that I noticed. I will say just from a month of this, which is not something that I expected. I feel like most foods you have to eat for months and months and months, or maybe even years before you start noticing like healthy changes and shifts in your lifestyle. I know that's what happened with me, is it took time before my life actually completely changed. But eating more beans and eating them regularly made some pretty significant changes over a short period of time. I was fairly shocked. I do think that this could be good for weight management and hunger management, just from my own short test. This is my own personal anecdotal evidence. I will say that. So my takeaway, end result, if you're gonna start adding more beans into your diet, do it. It's fantastic. Start slow though. Have a path, have an idea, have a method moving forward. Don't just jump right into it, because you might not like the results if you do it too quickly. But if you start slow, your body will get used to it over time. and the reward and the results will come through. I really truly expected this to be exactly the same as the chia seed video. I mean, I didn't want it to be. I was hoping for maybe a few different results. I thought there might be a little bit of gas and bloating, but not like what there was. After the month of chia seeds, I really didn't notice any difference at all. I thought with the amount of fiber that chia had that I would see some of those differences, but I truly didn't. Am I still eating chia seeds? 100%, just not every single day. I'm not sure why such a big difference, because when you compare the two, they have similar nutrition profiles. I think I was having much smaller portions of chia at one given time, which might be the big difference. Chia has a little bit less carbs and a lot of less protein and a little bit more fiber. But if your servings are larger, you're getting more fiber at one time. So that might be the big thing. Maybe somebody in the comments can answer that question. I'm really curious about what your thoughts are with that. I will say this is probably one of the healthiest cheap habits that you could start. Considering a 4-pound bag of dried black beans is roughly 52 servings and is going to cost you around $4. That's a lot of benefit for a little bit of money. And it gets even cheaper the more you buy, the bigger the bulk. So I'm super curious. Would you try this? Even adding them a couple times a week could be a game changer for cholesterol and weight management. I'm also curious, what are some of your favorite black bean recipes? What do you do? Is it just simple as black beans and rice? Because that's one of my favorites. Let me know in the comments below. I can't wait to hear what you have to say. This one has been a super interesting one. What is something else that I could try to eat every day for 30 days? I can't wait to do the next one. Man, it's so good.